Yo, is we on? Is we on? Man, I got a super dope show tonight. So dope that I don't even need an intro. But I do need to introduce myself. So I am William Stro II, aka Stro Styles, and this is the Stro Show. God damn it, I forgot to get my sound effects button. I meant to load all that up. I'll do it next time. Anyways, man, we got some dope topics tonight. We gonna be talking about some Cardi B news as this thing keeps updating. We're gonna be talking about the upcoming Drake album and some thoughts and theories on that and everything. Couple of things with the 20v1 and the lawsuit, and we're gonna end it off with talking some hip hop media. Hold on, let me just load these things up real quick. Bang bang, got that. All right, so wait, yeah, I'll do that as I go. Not the best multitasker, but I get it done when I can. So, where do we want to begin? I will start with this. Tonight I'm going to be pulling out a couple capes. This is going to be my Drake cape and my Cardi B cape. Yeah, it's a No Backup Plan shirt, NoBackupPlan.Shop. But tonight it is going to be my cape, and I'm going to be putting this thing on a couple times. Because, man, I am hyped. And, I like when I get to be wrong about certain things that I would be hopeful to be wrong about, but I'm wrong about a few things. And one of those things would be this Cardi B tour. Man, I said last week that I would be amazed and shocked if we got a Cardi B tour. And shoot, I still am amazed and shocked, but happy. I will be at that April 3rd date right down there at the bottom, Hartford, Connecticut. But man, it's good to see that she is going to be leaning into this and really pushing what she need to do for this album and getting it out there, promoting, going on tour. It should be interesting. I got a further kind of Cardi B thought and theory on the album. I spent all day making it like the least messiest on my thought all day. So I really thunked this thing out. But before we get there, we gonna be getting to the boy, Iceman. Because, there was, where do we even begin with this? Well, we're gonna start with the leaks that have come out. We've been getting a couple Iceman leaks, and some people think that, hey man, he wanna go back and rework the album and pull a Carter 3 and just scrap the whole thing, and he's really leaking it himself and everything. And I think that if he were to leak it himself, it wouldn't bode well for him to have some 19-year-old kids just doing it, because eventually they're gonna fuck the whole shit up and be like, yo, he paid me to do this. But that could be part of it too. But nonetheless, I am hyped because of this right here. We not escaping and getting away from that 20v1, and I want to make this thought out and synchronized as possible. But it's his get back time. We hearing it in the leaks of the songs that I guess was supposed to be for the No Face video, but now it's coming out, however. But it is clearly Drake get back time. And it's get back time for everybody. It ain't just the artist, it's the whole industry, which is why I think we get in this this radio station payola kind of breakdown. We hearing words like Rico being thrown around, and I don't think that the radio station is now about to be investigated is separate from this Drake lawsuit with UMG. I don't think that's separate from Spotify purging streams from a bunch of artists, but specifically Kendrick with Not Like Us and some of his album sales. I don't think none of that is separate from this Drake lawsuit. Y'all teamed up. Y'all ganged up on this nigga, brought the whole industry and the whole fucking super friends to get the boy out of here. And he had to sit back and take that L. And he took it how he takes it. But now, I think all of this together is like, all right, y'all did it, and I'm coming for everybody. So I think all of those things are working together. Now, that's just what he gonna do on his side to get his paper. He gonna sue these niggas, he gonna get his money, and that's gonna be what it is. But I do want to go back for a second to kind of when I think he saw that there was real issue and contention with his label. And I think that they may have been going through some issues of where the contract would go next and everything. But where I really think he saw it is For All the Dogs. If we look back, that's when he was still kind of on his run of going number one after going number one after going number one. Didn't matter if it was for a week or two or whatever song. It was when he dropped, it was going number one. The only song off that album, and maybe Slime You Out did too, but the big song off that album to go number one was First Person Shooter. And obviously there was a lot to go in with that. It's him and Cole, man. It's the Super Buddies. They came with it. So cool. We get a number one with that record. But where I think that he started to see that there was some funny business going along is when Rich Baby Daddy didn't go number one. This is where I should have had a picture of Sexy Red up there. I'm going to just go back to me for a second, because why not? When Rich Baby Daddy didn't go number one and it like peaked at number 11 on the Hot 100, I think that's when his antennas started to go off a little bit. And the reason being is because Drake has been famous for years for just not really doing music videos. His fans push the music, so he don't got to do a bunch of music videos. I think at most off of albums, he's maybe done 3 music videos off of certain albums, and I'm gonna do this off the top because, oh shit, my cape dropped because I got my Drake cape on. So I'm gonna do this off the top. He started to see some kind of funny business going on when Rich Baby Daddy started to maybe pop, but it wasn't climbing the charts like it probably should have. So he added the fuel to it, did a music video for that. All right, cool. Still didn't hit number one. And that's where I think he started saying, you know what? I'm going to put some further investigation into this thing. And then after, that's where we get For All the Dogs. Out of all his great albums, is the only album with this many music videos that he's done. You got to watch close to see where the antennas went up. So we get the First Person Shooter music video. Cool, number one. Rich Baby Daddy video. Song didn't go number one. And that's where he had to start investigating. So we got a music video for what, like Polar Opposites. We got a video for You Broke My Heart. And then we got one more song that had a video for it. I can't remember what it was. I know it was 5. But even with those 4, that's about 2 more than he usually does. And I think that was for a reason. Especially after he done talked about bundles and double disc on niggas and everything. And he said, you know what? I'm going to pull out the tricks. And I'm going to go and drop the Scary Hours version of this album. I don't think it had nothing to do with Joe and everybody talking about like, yo, he need to rap more. Where's Drake with the raps? I think this was an investigation moment for him before he really had to jump things off. And then when we got that double disc or the extended version, we got the You Broke My Heart video. And that's where things started to get interesting. I think he is still one song away from officially breaking the Michael Jackson record for most number ones on Billboard or something like that. Some Michael Jackson record that he hasn't broken yet. And he's one record away. When that came out and he had the video for that, I said, all right, this is going to be the moment. This is a slap. Maybe not his biggest slap, but shit, this joint still go. Song didn't go number one. I don't know where it peaked at. That was about 2 years ago. Then we get, we're going to skip a little bit. Now we get the album with him and Party. And we got Nokia. Nokia didn't go number one. One of the biggest Drake songs that we get in a minute. Still didn't go number one, though. So in this 2-year span, he has dropped, the biggest artist in the world has dropped, and we don't get another number one song to break that record. Even down to the point of when What Did I Miss came out, and he said on Instagram where he was like, oh, I ain't get this number one. All right, I see what's going on. I'm going to be back with it. I think he was seeing that play coming for a little minute. So that's why we got as many music videos that we got for All the Dogs. And now, then we got the whole Kendrick beef and the 20v1 and everybody jumped him, and maybe he didn't anticipate that as being a part of it. But we get to now where he getting the get back. And like I said with my cape right here, man, I am hyped because I think he's spinning on all these niggas. He's spinning on the label and everything. And this is just going to be a further showcase because he's still on the label. So when that album do come out, he's still going to be on Universal. And that's going to prove to his point that I was thinking the whole time of like, why not do? But he's doing these live streams, every 2-3 weeks or something like that. And he's going on there and just kind of shifting how he's doing it. He's doing his own boots on the ground right now and making sure that the people are aware. He's engaged his fan base pretty much more than he ever really has in a new and different and current way. So when this project drops, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be on that side now of like, you know what? I'm not going to hold the bangers. I'm trying to win this case. I'm going to put the bangers on there. I think everything we got so far is just what we got so far. There's going to be at least one banger on there. And if that record don't go number one, I think that's going to seal his case of like, all right, y'all doing some funny stuff over here. So I think Iceman will be one of the biggest projects that we ever, it's one of the most important projects for his career that we ever going to get from Drake. And I think as the fans, it will be one of the most interesting. He going to be lighting niggas up, and we're going to see what we get. And I meant to say this in the beginning. Didn't mean to say this in the beginning, but that's about the end of that kind of Drake part. So I'll say it here. For anybody that is maybe into the stock market, you want to learn it, or it's something that you just kind of do on the side, just really quickly drop stock in the chat or in the comments. That's something that I'll be getting to at some point. I just haven't gotten to it yet for a particular reason, and when that reason comes, y'all will know why. But just real quick, man, if y'all do anything with stocks, just drop it in the chat, in the comments, and let's just have a little conversation, and let's see maybe how quickly I may divert and get there first. Next, I love when I'm wrong. I do love when I'm wrong. And for this Cardi album, we are getting a Cardi tour, which cool. Once again, she putting everything there. Am I at my theory portion? God damn it, I am at my theory portion for this. It's okay. I spent enough of the day shelling this out where it's going to sound correctly. Because I was one of those people that thought that when Joe on the Joe Budden podcast came out like a month ago and said that Cardi B was pregnant, I thought that was fucked up. I didn't think he should have did that. I said in another episode of where Joe never wants to be the dude to break the news on his Perez Hilton shit, even though he probably has it ahead of time. He'll go and wait for it to come out and then react to it. So I don't think that it was something that maybe he just said out of his own speculation. I do think that it was something that he probably feels he got on good information and somehow slipped out and said it. But I do think that was wrong. But now we're here where everyone else is speculating and thinking on it. So I will carefully say my take. The other day she came out with what looks like to either be, there's got to be some form of a feature track list. And the one that sticks out to me is Janet Jackson. I don't think that it is a Janet Jackson feature. I think that's one of those, Tim's Wait For Me kind of joints where it's going to be a Janet Jackson sample. Now rock with me here because this is me hoping the best case scenario for the Cardi music. And I think that just based off of maybe some of these features, I did see Lizzo. Based off of some of these features, I do think that the Janet Jackson one or the Kalani one is going to be the one where, I feel better saying this, if she is pregnant, I think one of those songs will be the last song on the album, a dedication to her current children, and then on that record is where, if she is, she'll announce the pregnancy. Because although Cardi at sometimes is a liar, I don't think that she is corny. She's never come off as corny. So I don't take much into the fake pregnancy rollout and everything. I guess, well, that's one of those things that time has to tell. So we will know at some point, or maybe somehow not, because Lauren London did have her, I don't know. She's in a different, she puts herself in a different spotlight than Lauren London and some other celebrities. So we will know. But my theory is that if she is, then on the album, that's where she will announce it. And I think that is what leans us a little bit more into the title of the album, Am I the Drama? Because, of course, last year, let me fix my cape, make sure that's nice and good there. Got No Backup Plan shirts on. You see the No Backup Plan in the back. It's supposed to be at the top still. I messed that up. In any event, I think that's where we'll really get the leaning into of the Am I the Drama? Because if she is, in fact, pregnant, then I think there will be some people, clearly, that have some negative things to say about it, because she's either still married or freshly divorced. And obviously, people will have their opinions of it. That will be part of the drama. And I think that that is a big part of the reasoning for the title, because of outside of things until these current moments, like with the court case, there ain't been too much Cardi drama outside of just the regular things that, when she would go off on Offset and everything, but that would happen even when they were still together. I don't think that that was reason enough for the title, and there wasn't really no recent like Cardi beefs and issues with people over the past few years of why I think this album would be titled that. So I think with the pregnancy speculation and possible reveal on the end of the album is why we get the title, Am I the Drama? Now, back to the hopeful side of me for hoping the best side of the music. Let's say that's in there. I'm also hoping that she done, after this court case, she done brought in a couple new lines, couple new bars, maybe a new song where like popping her shit. Because we starting to see that she does want this album to succeed. If we look back at this list, there we can already off top see that there was some money spent just looking at the Janet Jackson side. Although part of that could be off the love, you still got to clear whatever it is. So whether it's an actual feature or a sample, that's some bread. The Selena Gomez part, I don't know if that's really a budget kind of spending thing, but I think that will be one of those moments. And I love to see that this list isn't just filled with nothing too crazy. But I think there is a big potential for, okay, let's say we got the possible pregnancy side. Let's say she came out of the court case and was like, maybe she had some records ready before that. And she talking about that on there. And the last thing that, even when I put it into ChatGPT earlier, it said that there is a 60 to 85% chance of this. So, I think there is a possibility that she on that motherfucker shooting. I think that there will be a chance that we get a good record of her really shooting at Nicki. And if she shoots at Nicki, she shoot at her enough, we know we gonna get a Nicki response. And that brings in the drama way more. Now, will she want to maybe kind of dilute the attention of her album coming out with a Nicki diss? Who knows? Well, I think that she will respond in a back and forth Nicki beef battle. If she does, probably not. But that brings us back to her going on tour. When you are going on them stages, you don't necessarily always got to shoot back at somebody on the record, because you could jump in front of 5, 10,000, however many people, and shoot right there and get all these people engaged and shooting back all at once. So if we get that on there, and if we got Party in there writing for something, hey yo, we might be in for a good treat there. So I'm back hyped. I was driving this morning. I did my whole Cardi set. I don't show it as often. I keep my Drake cape on just quietly sometimes, because I still do feel like he not in love. He don't love the culture like we loved him the same no more. But still, always a fan of the music. So for these two, I am hype. But at the same time, last week when I did a couple of those streams, it was people in the comments and writing, and was like, this is the problem with hip-hop media and everything. And I slightly felt honored that someone considered me hip-hop media. But that was like, this is the problem with it, where it's always this this negativity about artists and everything, and you don't let them just create and let them be and everything. And no, the problem ain't, I don't think, it's hip hop media. The problem is fucking hip hop fans. I think when Eminem made that record Stand way long time ago, it always just becomes more valid and valid and valid now as we go further. Hip hop fans make hip hop artists sensitive as fuck. They do. And I'm going to even use Chance as the example of, people say that, if you say in a building there's a fire and you start running, everybody going to start running. So I can get where artists don't always love for music to be critiqued in a negative way, especially in an unfair negative way, because you can have all these people saying that something is trash. And before that person that may have genuinely was thinking about listening, they didn't heard on their favorite platforms and from their favorite people online and personally that, this is just not it, that they'll never get to it. And especially with the influx of music that comes out these days or doesn't come out, it'll come and go. And because everybody done called it trash, they never gonna give it a fair listen. But at the same time, artists got to take the good with the bad, yo. Because if you get a whole bunch of people saying that the project is good, then people gonna run to it. From, it's no secret that Last Chance album just wasn't it. And especially he coming off of something so amazing and great with Coloring Book. And then that last album that they like to call it I Love My Wife album. Should I have done that? That wasn't my middle finger. I feel like that's one of those things that I shouldn't have done on live. I'm going to do it again. The I Love My Wife album wasn't hitting crazy. So for this next album, I wasn't rushing into it, but I kept hearing from people I know, all the platforms that I listen to, of, this Chance album is dope. It's great. It's Chance's best album. Chance is back. Chance is what we always thought. Kept hearing that shit. And not just for a couple days. I was hearing that for weeks. Has it been a month yet? Yeah, it's been a month at least. I was hearing that for about a couple weeks. And so eventually I said, you know what? I'm going to go and listen. I was turned off by the last project, but I've been hearing so much of how this project is great. I'm going to spin back and I'm going to listen to it. And guess what? I thought it was pretty good. I think the rapping was amazing. The production, especially on that first record, it was like, oh my God, it gave me Kanye vibes. So that is one of those situations where it works in your favor. And if it works in your favor and you're an artist who is creating this art and putting it out there, and music is one of those things like food and clothing that is to taste, then you can't be sensitive when people not fucking with it. And I get it. It can hurt the product. It can hurt the project when there are people unfairly critiquing it that haven't even heard it and just completely writing it off. I get it. But then you may have people that haven't heard it that are going around when people having just barbershop conversations. And they like, yo, you heard that new Chance album yet? And somebody might be like, nah, I ain't heard it yet, but I heard it's good. So now they're going to go and listen. Artists got to take the good with the bad when it comes to media and when it comes to critique. But I think hip-hop fans have made hip-hop artists so damn sensitive because they tend to spend time living in this bubble of just the people that love them, that when it maybe gets slightly infiltrated or popped, they start feeling away and they start lashing out. And that's how you get maybe a lack of interviews and communication with hip-hop media, and you get them going to the people that ain't going to talk about the music because there ain't going to be a slight for it to be critiqued in a way that they don't like. And I can understand where it comes from, but it's like, dog, this is what you sign up for. You would rather people be talking about it at all than for you to be at home and never made it and they not talking about it to begin with. You gotta take both. Do I think that hip hop media is unfair sometimes? Of course, everyone's unfair. But that's just the way things go. If people are talking about your art, talking about your album, talking about your project, it's typically because you made it to the top of the top. I don't hear nobody talking about Lil Pump music. I'm not sure if it's still coming out. But if it is, the hell if I know. We don't hear people talking about 6ix9ine music when it comes, even everything that he does behind it. We don't hear him talk. We don't hear people talking about it because he not there no more. So if your shit is getting critiqued as super bad, super trash, or super fire, appreciate that you are one of those artists that mass amounts of people are talking about. And for these two particular artists right here, Cardi B and Mr. Iceman, I am a non-biased fan, so I say what I got to say, but I am a fan of the music, nonetheless. And I think that they are both in a position where we are about to get some fire from them. And remember, let me know what y'all think, man. Drop in the comments, man, if y'all think they about to come with a classic or if they about to come with a flop. Did I miss anything? I did not miss anything. So let me know y'all opinions. Go to NoBackupPlan.Shop and get you a shirt, man. That's the best way to support this channel and what I'm doing. Another good way is to make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and just share these videos. Hit that notification so when we go live, when we doing some videos, when we doing all the shorts and everything, that y'all get notified. But definitely, if you really want to support a good product. And even if you don't want to support anything is asked, let me know in the comments too and support that. Because I am not, it's getting late, I'm losing my good words, but I am not against the critiques that I give of artists. So if you ain't feeling it, let me know too. All right, man, I'm Stro Styles. This is the Stro Show, and I gotta let it sit for a second before I click off because it just cuts me off. Peace.